This is our house, which was built somewhere around 1906. My wife and I were married 42 years in this picture. So let's go back about 40 years. We saw this old place about ready to fall down, as you can see, and we decided we were going to buy it. So we did, and we spent 40 years fixing this thing up. This is what it looks like today. This is what it looked like back then, and today it's a pretty nice place. A lot of work has gone into this place. This is my dad here. He taught me everything I needed to know to do this work. Now today I'm going to tell you about this old barn. When we bought this property, the old barn was in pretty bad shape. It was beautiful back in 1906, but here it is after all those years, and it was left not taken care of, and it was ready to fall down. So we decided that we would have the building taken down. We hired an excavator and a bulldozer, and they came in, and in short order they brought this barn down. We buried most of the barn on site, and I decided I'd build a small building to keep my tools in and all my woodworking equipment and so on. So I built this little building, and after the barn was all taken down and cleaned up, we got busy and trying to decide what we wanted to do, and we decided to build another barn right in the same place, only this one would be a little bit bigger, 36 by 48. So we got the excavator back and we dug the footer, and I hired an Amish fella and his crew, and they came in and began to build the forms for the footer. Well, this is my friend Isaac. He's a pretty good builder, and here we've got some of the walls started to be built, and then we brought in the cement truck and we filled those blocks with concrete. So all the cores are filled with concrete. And here they begin to get the walls built. It's going to be a 3-car garage in the bottom, and built into a side of a hill, so we stepped the walls down so we wouldn't have so much concrete above ground in the front. Here they are building those roof rafters. At one time I had 11 Amishmen here working on this building. So when the weather got cold, we stopped working, and here you can see the snow slid off the barn roof in front of the building there. And this is the back of the building, and I can drive right up around and drive right inside the top of the building. There we are from the end view. So after a long winter, we got started on the inside. There's the plumbing for the bathroom I wanted in that first bay of my garage. That's the pipe that will take the hot water from my boiler that I'm going to install here, and I'll run it through this ditch here to my house. There's the sewer line for the bathroom in the barn, and here I am getting that rebar finished. There's a drain in the second bay. It runs right out through the front wall and on down. Here's the fellas that I hired to do the concrete floor in the building, and this guy's done quite a bit of work for me, and he's really good at it. It pays to hire professionals when you've got a big job like this. I've poured a lot of small concrete jobs, but this big job we had both the Amish crew and his crew working. So they poured that 36 by 48 in 3 sections, and they poured it in one day. Here he is finishing up with the power trowel. And then next I'm building the forms out in front of the garage there for an apron. And then I get my friend Dave back, and they'll pour that concrete and finish it off. does a real good job. This is a drain I put in. I put a lot of drainage all the way around the building to carry that water away so that it wouldn't run up against the barn. Water can do a lot of damage to a building, so it pays to put in some good drainage. Now I installed this EFM coal stoker boiler in the first bay of the garage, and that'll heat the house and this bay, and also my wood shop upstairs above this bay. So we had to have a place to store all the coal, so I built this coal bin. It's shaped like a funnel, so it'll direct all the coal down to that auger right there. And that coal bin right there will hold 8 tons. It'll get me almost through the season. So again, I've got the walls of that bin slanted in so that it directs the coal down to that auger. It's a pretty good system and an excellent boiler. This is just some pictures upstairs in the barn now. Got a big open space here, and I built a mezzanine in there since this picture was taken. But I've got a lot of storage. I store lumber up in here, and a lot of other things too. But now here's my shop, and I'm installing the baseboard heat for up there. Now my wife and I decided to throw a barn dance to celebrate this barn being finished, and so we had a wonderful time. My wife made all the food for the party, and we had all our friends over, and it was a great time. Here I'm digging out, getting ready to build this wall. I wanted a stone wall out in back of the back porch, and I put a flower garden in there, and my wife enjoyed sitting there on the back porch and looking out at the flower garden. Now here comes my coal truck. I used to buy all my coal locally, but they kept raising the price, so I decided to contact a broker down in Pennsylvania, and I buy the coal now by the semi-load, and I get a pretty good price that way. He brings usually, well, between 20 and 23 ton. And that lasts me 3 years. I lay this tarp down so that you can dump that coal on there, because when I put the coal in the barn, I don't want to get any stone mixed in with it. I could jam up my auger on the boiler system. So he dumps it on that tarp, and then I move it in the barn. We don't have natural gas installed here in our little village, and so people heat with propane, which is pretty expensive, or fuel oil, and I decided to go with this coal boiler instead, and that way, like I said, I could heat my shop with it too. And all the mess is out here in the barn. I cut this hole in the floor, and this is where I dump that coal down through into those bins down below. And I've got that one bin that's shaped like a funnel that holds 8 ton. That's what I'm dumping into now. And then right next to it there's another bin that holds 12. So I can hold 20 ton in those two bins there, and like I said, that lasts me 3 years. Call me crazy, but I just enjoy working. And I decided to put clapboards on this barn, just like the old one had. And I got a pretty good deal on these boards from the Amish. Got them over to Amish mill. And it took me a while to put all this up. But after I got it all up, I stained it with a blue stain. It looks real nice. Oh, there's my old 56 Chevy. I store that upstairs in the barn. So after the first winter, that's what the building looked like. And then the next spring I got to work and put up the clapboards, and it must have been around St. Patty's time there. My wife has different decorations for every season of the year we put up there on the front. So I remember asking my dad, "What do you think, Dad? Can we fix this place up?" He kind of shook his head and he said, "Well, nothing's insurmountable, but this place comes close." Well, after 40 years, we got it pretty well taken care of.